The sun is up, the sky is blue. Today is beautiful, and so are you. Good morning and welcome to our podcast. First, I'd like to welcome you all and thank everyone for coming, especially at such short notice. I know you're all very busy and it's difficult to take time away from your daily tasks for meetings. We're very thankful for this opportunity to share and discuss to you our topic today, the 21st century teacher and transformative education. I think we'll begin now. Are you guys nervous or excited?
I am much excited to share again my knowledge from my co-panelists.
Yes, I'm also excited to share my knowledge and about this discussion.
If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer. I would now be interested to hear from you with your thoughts or question. Miss Malud, would you like to go first on to sharing?
Yes, I would love to. First off, I'm gonna start with the 21st century teacher. So we have here the changing global landscape and the 21st century skills. So as globalization has opened opportunities for nations to become interdependent. Through new information and communication, walls have been broken between countries and allowed the smooth transfer of skills, knowledge, and values. So, as future educators of the 21st century, it is crucial to understand the new landscape brought about by the changes in leaps and bounds of the century. Furthermore, future teachers need to obtain and develop 21st century skills. Without these skills, no teacher can survive. So, according to Zhao 2006 in the SEAMEO Innotech 2011, identified some key categories of the different changes and development in the 21st century teaching and learning. So the first category is the new learning environment, and under this category is the learner centered. The second one is the new spaces and borderless. The next one is enhancing the opportunities for creativity and innovations. And the last one is the use of ICT. Then the next key category is the new learning contents. So under this key category are the integrated or interdisciplinary. The second one is the demand driven. So the third one is the emphasis on learning tools on how to retrieve knowledge, and the last one is the balance of scientific, technological, cultural, global, and local concept. And the third key category is called the new process of learning and how this will be facilitated. And under this category are having the face-to-face classes. The second one is what the educational system are having right now, the distance learning. And the third one is the blended modalities, and the last one is the experiential and lifelong. So the next key category is called the new types of learners. And under this category are flexible and adaptive. Sorry. And the next one, it initiates and self-directed. The third one, have social and cross-cultural skills. Then the next one, productive and accountable. And the last one, leads, and responsible. Then the last key category is called the new type of teachers, and under this category are the clear standards and accountability. The next one, it uses broad pedagogies. The next one, having skillful in the use of assessment. The next one, having great understanding of local and global source cultures. And the next one, having skillful in action research. The next one, practice the core values of inspiring teachers. Then the next one, it develop life and career skills for the 21st century and beyond. So that's all for my discussion. So Miss Sharia, do you have any? ideas to share for us?
Yes, I would like the components, or there are six components or competencies. So, in the 21st century teacher competencies or standards, the UNESCO 21st century approach to education reform, which is based on humanity development, is applied to the six components of the education system, namely policy, curriculum, pedagogy, information and communications technology, organization, and teacher training. So, in addition, according to the UNESCO 21st century approach to education reform, the following are the expected future competencies that based on the UNESCO 21st century approach to education reform. First, we have the technology literacy. Second is the knowledge deepening. Third is the knowledge creation. On the first component on policy under the technology literacy, be aware and must practice these policies in practice. Under the knowledge, must have uh, deep knowledge of national policies and social priorities, and must be able to design, modify, and implement classroom practices that supports this. And under this, under the knowledge creation, must understand the intention of national policies and be able to contribute to the discussion of education reform policies and participate in the design, implementation, and revision of programs and intended to implement these policies. So in the second component, we have here the on curriculum and assessment under the technology literacy. You must have knowledge of the curriculum and assessment standard of a subject and must be able to make use of technology and knowledge of their subject and the ability to apply its flexibility in a variety of situations. Through the knowledge creation, must know about the complex cognitive thought process, know how the students learn, and understand the difficulties they encounter. So the third component on pedagogy under the technology literacy and must know when, where, and how to use technology in the classroom. Under the knowledge deepening, must have the skills to help students create, monitor project plans and solutions. Then under the knowledge creation, the role is to the model learning process, structure situations in which students apply their skills and assistance in their acquisition. So we have here the fourth component under ICT under the technology literacy must be very well versed with basic software and hardware operations, different applications, web browsing, and etc. Under the knowledge deepening, must be aware of different subject and application able to focus in this variety of elements and interactions. Also must courses to help students collaborate, access information, and with external to analyze and solve their selected problems. And under the knowledge creation, the it must be able to design ICT based knowledge communities and use ICT to support the development of students' knowledge creation skills and their continuous reflective learning. So on the fifth component on organization and administration under the technology literacy must able to use the technology with a whole class, small group, individual activities to assure equitable access. Under the knowledge deepening, must be able to create flexible classroom environments. Then under the knowledge creation should be able to play a leadership role and in creating and implementing a vision of school as a community based on innovation and continuous learning enhanced by or enriched by the ICT. Then on the last component on the teacher professional development under the technology literacy must have the technological skill and the knowledge of the web resources necessary to improve the expertise and pedagogical resources or knowledge in support to own development. Under the knowledge deepening must be able to have the skills and knowledge to create and manage complex projects, collaborate with other teachers, and make use of networks to access information, colleague side experts, and supporting their own professional development. Then under the knowledge creation must have this ability and must have the ability and inclination to and continuously learn and use ICT to create professional knowledge communities. So that's all for the six competencies on the 21st century learning. So do you have any questions,
Okay, so
Ms. Malud or
okay,
Sir Jonathan? Would you like to add something?
yes. I have a question for you, Miss. What strategies work best in 21st century teaching and learning?
So, new teaching methodologies are changing the educational environments around the world, better academic performance among students. We go over some of the main approaches that educators have forged over the few years and that every 21st century teacher should be acquainted with. One of these is the design thinking has always been a prolific space for innovation. Teachers all over the world are constantly coming up with new ideas and methodologies to introduce in the classroom, making the best of uh, the tools at their disposals.
Okay, so how is this applied to education?
Um, so, so this model makes possible to identify with greater accuracy the individual of each students and generate in their educational experience the creation and the innovation towards the satisfaction of others, which then becomes
Okay, thank you, Miss.
my pleasure.
I
Um,
would like to ask questions on Shara. Miss Shara, my question is, I have this question on the six components. What do you think should a teacher do on knowledge deepening, especially on policy?
yeah. So the person in charge on the classroom, especially the teacher, should have some wide knowledge about national policies and especially those policies that made to protect them and in order for them to be knowledgeable the right thing to do, especially in handling a student in the classroom. Teachers should also know how to implement policies in the classroom. These must be followed by the students in the classroom. So teacher must also have the stand to implement that rule.
So, as a
Okay.
follow-up question, so as you said a while ago, you mentioned teacher must also have a stand to implement that role. So you're saying that teacher must be strict on implementing the policy.
Yes, yes. Because teacher must be the one who are in charge in the classroom. So the teacher must take in charge also on implementing these policies that the teacher in the classroom.
Thank you.
Okay, so do you have any
Um,
questions for about my discussion?
yes, yes. I would
Okay.
like to a question. I would like to raise a question. So, how globalization helps the nations?
Oh, sorry. So globalization opened opportunities for nations to become interdependent. So through new information and communication, walls have been broken between countries and allowed the smooth transfer of skills, knowledge, and values. That's all. Miss.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Jonathan, do you have any questions to raise?
Yes, I do. My question is, why is critical thinking is important to have as a skills, especially on 21st century skills?
Well, critical thinking is very important because it is the practice of solving problems among other qualities. It empowers students to discover the truth in assertions, especially when it comes to separating separating a fact from opinion. With critical thinking, students don't just learn a set of facts or figures. Instead, they learn how to discover the facts and figures for themselves. That's all.
Thank you. So, as you finish discussing, so I would like to continue to discuss about transformative education.
Okay.
Ahead.
So, transformative learning gives adult learners the ability to think independently, that is, to think as individuals. It provides the learner freedom to develop their sense of meaning in the world free from the accepted purpose, belief, judgment, values, and feelings that we receive from our culture, religion, family beliefs, personalities, and life experiences. The transformational learning theory, initially developed by Jack Maziro, is described as being constructivist, an orientation which holds that the way learners interpret and reinterpret their sense experience is central to making meaning enhanced learning. Maziro, 1991. The theory has two basic kind of learning instrument: the learning instrument and the communicative learning. Instrument learning focuses on learning through fast-oriented problem solving and determination of cause and effect relationship. While the communicative learning, it involves how individuals communicate their feelings, needs, and desires. So here are some reason why teach with transformative education theory. First, it allows adults to learn to develop their sense of meaning free from accepted purpose, belief, judgment, values, and feeling that we receive from our culture, religion, family beliefs, personalities, and life experiences. It gives learners the ability to think autonomously, that is, to think individual. Second, autonomously thinking is vital for full participation in democratic society and for moral decision making. Mazero, 1997, page 7. Though it is the goal of higher education to produce autonomous thinking. Mazero, 1997, page 5. Third, it allows students to and educators to develop genuine relationship in which the educator makes difference in the students and feel the difference in their own lives. Cranton, 2006, page 8. Fourth, adult learners will inevitably join the workforce after they complete their college education, or more likely while they completing their college education. The workforce identified learning needs implicitly recognize the importance of autonomous learning. Mazero, 1997, page 7. Then the last one, for adults to truly take ownership of social and personal roles. Developing this self-authorship goes a long way towards helping our society world become better place. So there, if you would like to ask a question.
Okay. So I have a question about the discussion that you discussed, Sir Jonathan. So On stance of transformative learning, what can be the purpose or what can be the benefit to the students of the social emancipatory or consciousness raising?
So the answer is it may help the learners to be aware of their surroundings, especially the structure within the society. It may able to think a plan or solution if there are any problems that need to be solved in the society.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Raise
You're
a
welcome.
question.
Anyone?
So this is connected to the question a while ago on the stance of transformative learning. A question that questioned by Miss Malot. So how about under race centric? What is it? What's its purpose?
Okay. The the answer is for the race-centric, its learner can able to approach or communicate or negotiate to those people that have different culture than the communicate, negotiate, or those people that different culture than what we have culture we grow up to. By this it helps the both individuals to understand each other thoughts. That's all.
Thank you. So
Okay.
you've discussed the transformative education. Is there any benefits that from individual could gain from it? Um,
Uh, yes, yes, there are many benefits of transformative education theory, and the one example of it can is it can help individuals to think freely by themselves. That's all.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, um, I have also another question, sir. The last question for you. So, can individual develop the use of transformative education?
Okay. The answer is yes, because it allows adults to learn to develop their sense of meaning free from the accepted purpose, belief, judgment, values, and feelings that we receive from our culture, religions, family beliefs, personalities, and life experiences. That's all for your questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, is there any last question would you like to raise, Miss Shara?
None at all.
Nana. Okay, so I guess there's none. So thank you for today's discussion. So I hope that we've learned a lot about this discussion and hope to see you soon and God bless. Thank you for your time, guys.
It's my honor also to have you both in this discussion, and I hope to see you soon on another discussion like this. Thank you.
So that was a long presentation. I hope you found it valuable and know that I really appreciate you listening. I enjoyed a lot the time we spent discussing today, and I am very excited to meet you guys again. Thank you for taking time to meet me today and feel very positive about moving forward with you on this discussion. God bless.
God
See you.
bless. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you again soon.
Yes.